Okay guys, what I'm going to do now is just run you through just a quick 5 to 10 minute warm-up protocol that I would use just before each of your sessions. With this we're just going to follow a standard RAMP protocol. RAMP stands for Raise, Activate, Mobilise and Potentiate. So what I mean by that is we're just going to raise our heart rate generally, just with some general exercises that we can do. We're then going to look to activate general muscles around the body, and then mobilise certain joints that we're going to be using within the session, and then potentiate is just going to activate the specific muscles that we're going to use within that session as well. So in terms of raising the heart rate, quite straightforward. All I would do is just pick an exercise such as high knee runs on the spot, some jumping jacks, or if you have a skipping rope, I would use a skipping rope, and you just go 30 seconds on nice and fast, and then 30 seconds rest. Okay, and I'll do this 4 times. Just as a technique more than anything, I'm not going to run through the whole thing, but all we'll do is just opposite arm to leg on the running high knees, keeping the chest up, looking forward. And we're just going to go nice and fast on the spot. Okay, try and get the knees as high as you can. Alright, and go for 30 seconds on that. Make sure it's nice and fast in order to get your heart rate up. Okay, in terms of the jumping jacks, arms by the side, feet together. And we're going to go arms out and legs out at the same time, but we're just going to be nice and fast with it. Okay, again, 30 seconds on, and then 30 seconds rest. Just make sure it's nice and fast. And then we're skipping. Just if you have that equipment, then perfect. If you don't, then I wouldn't worry about it. So that's how we'd raise our heart rate at the start. We've raised our heart rate and done our kind of wee warm up at the start. It's now time to go into some activation and mobilisation work. Okay, so we're going to look at just getting some general kind of joint kind of movement going first, and then we'll try and move a little bit more specific to the movements and joints that we're going to use within the session. So starting off, we're just going to mobilise our kind of ankle and wrist joints to start. So we're just going to do wrist rolls and ankle rolls. So very easy drill. All you're going to do, arms by the side, just try and roll the wrists. Start clockwise if you want, go 5 rolls one side, and then 5 you're anti-clockwise, going the other way. And then we use that exact same concept with the ankle. You can usually try and do this without your shoes on, but just in this case, just to show you what to do, I'm just going to keep my shoes on. But all we're doing is just trying to create a biggest circle as we can. 5 clockwise, and then we're going to go 5 anti-clockwise. And then once we've done that on each side, we'll then start trying to mobilise our spine a little bit more. Okay, so from here what we're going to do is go into some lying supine rotations. So get a slight bend in the knees, about 90 degrees, arms by the side, and all we're going to do, keeping the hips on the floor, arms out by the side, we're just going to drop our knees to one side, come back to the middle, and then we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to do 5 to 10 reps each side. If you feel like you want to get a little bit more range, take the feet off the floor, but always keep the hips in contact with the floor. Okay, and then once we're done with that, we then go into some Spider-Man rotations. So we're just going to the press up position, and then all we do from here, okay, we bring our foot to the outside of the hand, we'll let the hips drop, but not this back knee doesn't touch the floor, keep the chest up, and then from here you bring in a rotation, watch that hand as you rotate, keep the hips down, and then once you've done that as far as you can, you come back, and then you go to the other side. And again, just making sure you watch that hand, drop the hips, keep the chest up. And you're just going to go 5 each side on that exercise. And then from there we're going to some inchworms to a downward dog. So if you do any yoga poses, you might be familiar with this one. So we keep the hands just by the chest here. And all we're going to do is keep ourselves flat on the floor. We're going to push up through the hands, hold for a few seconds, so keep the hips down. And then we're going to push our hips right back. Let our weight come to our heels, so you should feel a stretch down the calves and the hamstrings. Hold that for a few seconds, and then we'll go back into that inchworm. So we'll lead with the forehead, chin, and then we come through, let the hips come down, and we'll go back into that inchworm position. and then we push back again into with the hips up, weight to the heels, and we're going to do that 10 times. And then we're going to work on the hamstrings after that. So we're going to some hamstring flushers. So all we're going to do, lying on our back, we're just going to try and flush out that sciatic nerve. So grab the back of the knee with both hands. Don't pull it too far into the chest. Just keep a 90-degree bend in the knee, leg relaxed. And then all you've got to do is just extend with that leg until you feel it stretch. Point the toes towards the face, and then back down. And you're just going to do 5 to 10 reps on each side. Really taking your time with these reps. You should feel that kind of hamstring stretch right at the end there. And then you change sides and do 5 on the opposite leg. And that's our activation and mobilization. Okay, the last part of our ramp warm up is the potentiation part. So what we're looking for here is just to activate those muscles that are specific to the session that we're about to do. So we're going to do 4 exercises, 5 reps on each, and we're going to go through this twice. Okay, so all we're going to do is starting with back squat, and then we're going to go into some lunges, press ups, and then we're going to finish on some bridges. So with back squat, all we need to do is just make sure we get our feet hip to shoulder width apart. Imagine there's a clock face on the floor and your toes are going to be pointing at 10 to 2 on that clock, okay? Now, keeping your weight in your heels, your chest up, your trunk's nice and tight and your back's nice and tight. All you've got to do is 5 reps, just going to whatever depth's comfortable for yourself. Just make sure you're keeping nice posture throughout. After you've done 5 reps, get your feet together and we're going to go straight into our lunges. But we're just going to alternate every time, keeping the chest up, trunk tight, our back nice and tight, and we're looking forward. So after your 5 on each side of those, you then go straight into your press ups. Now it's up to you if you want to go from on your knees or from your feet, whatever's comfortable for yourself, okay? We're just trying to warm up that upper body a little bit. So we do 5 reps, chest to the floor every time. And then to finish, we're just going to do our glute bridges. Okay, so lying flat on the floor. From here, we make sure that we brace so we get our trunk in tight. And then from here, we're going to lift our hips up and really drive through our heels. Squeeze at the top for a second, back down. Like I said, we're just going to do 5 reps, really squeezing at the top every rep. And then after those 5 reps and you've done your 4 exercises, rest for 30 to 60 seconds and then repeat that through and then you're ready to go.